Hello, and welcome to the weekly broadcast of Strategic Speaking for Results. I'm Elizabeth Bachman, your host. Today, I want to talk about what happens if you're being blocked at work. I've had clients who say, I'm doing all the things that you're telling me, and my manager really doesn't pass anything on, is actively in the way. And I've certainly had that happen to me. It's always a surprise because I never think of myself as a threat, but I've had people who see me as a threat, and I've now learned the hard way that it's them, it's their fear, it's nothing to do with me. So, what happens if there's something in the way? One thing you can do is go around. I have talked many times on these broadcasts about how you can create stories to show your value and your visibility. 1-minute stories. These are useful when you use the dream mentor process by finding allies. Look for allies outside your department. If your manager's not listening to you, or if there's someone, if you're trying to get into VP or C level, and there's someone who's blocking you, who do they listen to? Who can influence them? One of the things that you can find is if you can triangulate, go around them and up. Now, you can't do this when they're blocking you. You have to set it up in advance. This is where having allies is so useful because you can talk, make these allies, make these connections in advance. If you are at the senior level in your company, do you have any connection with the board? Make sure that people don't think that the people who are at your level or directly above don't think that you are sabotaging them, that you're bypassing them, although you are. Look for ways that you can cultivate relationships with people in the board. If they have something, if you have something to say to them, something to ask them, use the dream mentor strategy to connect with them. Say that you'd like to maybe talk to them once a quarter. Could you check in with them? That way, if you are actively looking for a promotion to a higher level, that's someone who could actually speak to the C level and say, hey, I hear that Elizabeth's really good. Why haven't we given her that promotion? The other piece is, remember, again, networking up, networking around. Who are your people in the other departments that you can talk to? Are there people in your industry who are influencers that you could set up a relationship with? Sometimes you have to move to a different department, or sometimes you have to move to a different company. There are times when it truly is blocked. But that's where keeping up the relationships, set up a reminder system in your calendar to check in with the relationships. That's where they can help you so that even if you go to a different department or a different company, don't lose track of your allies in your current company, because who knows, you might be able to help them when it's their turn to move to a different place. Or maybe a couple of jobs from now, you'll be colleagues. You might be able to hire them. They might be able to hire you. Keep up that relationship. Don't just leave. This happens all too often. Don't just leave and forget the people you used to be talking to. Keep up the good relationships. So it comes down to building your network, finding your allies within the company, finding your allies who are a couple of levels up. And if a couple of levels up means talking to the board, that's great. Just talk to them. Keep track of your allies in your current position so that when you move up, or if you have to move to a different department, you can still remain allies. And of course, the number one part is if you're going to ask an ally to help you, you need to have something to offer too. Always be an ally in return. Maybe somebody from your outside network would be a useful connection to someone who's in your current network, and you can introduce them. Connecting people to each other is one of the best ways to give something back to someone who's helped. There's a lot more. I will post the links to the talking about stories and dream mentors in the comments. This has been Elizabeth Bachman. I'll see you on the next one.